day and night.
Chase your tail light. I'll be under your skin, letting you go for a while. Then I'm taking you in. Your face like diamonds, a glimmer and punch. Shiny predator with a golden gun. Space age girl machine. 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 Space age girl machine.
Hey there, nerds, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Dani Soncasie, licensed cosmetologist and registered super nerd, and this is Comics and Cosmetics, the channel where normally I talk about whatever nerdy topic I've been obsessing about that week while doing my makeup at the same time. While you watch, today I'm sharing something very personal. What is the most physically uncomfortable part of your day? Is it your office chair? A stiff uniform? A really uncomfortable pair of shoes? The best part of your day is coming home, kicking those shoes off, peeling off those pants, throwing that stabby bra, and putting on a comfy pair of pajama pants, right? Now imagine once you have taken those things off, you can't walk anymore. And the only time you can walk is when you're wearing those ridiculously uncomfortable shoes. And they are so uncomfortable and ill-fitting that they have begun to tear at your skin, cause blisters. You bleed every time you walk. With every single step, flesh is ripping open and you're bleeding in your shoe. But they're the only shoes that make it possible for you to get around. And now you've spent so much time wearing them that you've started subconsciously overcompensating and causing problems with your other knee, your hip, your back, your head. And still, you cannot walk unless you wear those unbelievably torturous shoes. Unfortunately, every 1 in 190 Americans shoulder this burden every day. And their technology and the mechanics of prosthetics have definitely improved over the last 50 years. The comfort and the cosmetic, realistic, custom matching has not. Unless you have Beatles money, that is. I cannot fully explain to you what it is actually physically and mentally like to be an amputee. Unless you've lost a body part or embody that part of the human race that only takes up 0.5% of the country, I cannot make you understand what it's like to be too disabled to really fit in, yet not disabled enough to be afforded real consideration, to be excluded and viciously, persistently tormented for something that cannot be changed, nor was your fault. To have to question just how bad do you really have to pee to justify going through the process of putting that overcomplicated prosthetic on and adjusting it just so you can hobble stiffly to the bathroom to relieve yourself. It's a whole production just to go to the bathroom, so you really gotta go. Or what it's like to constantly count steps to the bathroom, to the kitchen, to the exit, blisters, ulcers, corns, calluses, ingrown hairs, infections, yeast infections, athlete's foot, headaches, risk of stroke, etc. The list goes on. Then there's the mental anguish. And sometimes that's way worse. Feelings of isolation, loneliness, not being good enough, feeling inhuman, unable to relate to other people. And then there's other people being treated either like you're an invalid or as if you're lying or making up your concerns just to get attention. Mistreatment from employers who are either ignorant to your needs, the law, or just totally unempathetic. And this can affect you in a multitude of ways you didn't even think that it was. And then you wake up one day and you're like, oh yeah, that's bothering me. That's a thing. It can even make you question if you really are making it up. Like, is this all in my head? Because you're the only person like you that you know. It can be very isolating and confusing. It affects every single part of your life, even self-care and sleep. It's not the same as being picked on for being overweight. It's just not. Because what you're saying when you say those things is that being tormented for a missing body part or being disabled, something you absolutely cannot change, is the exact same thing as something you can change. It's not the same thing. And there are a lot less amputees, a lot less of us than there are people that are overweight. At least they have like large support groups that you can go to in person. Where I live, I'm it. And not to sound sexist, but it's way more difficult to be a young woman amputee than it is a man. In fact, did you know that over 75% of the people that make up the amputee population are men? And on top of that, over 50% of those amputee men lost their limb due to a trauma, like car, motorcycle accident, or while at war. So therefore, most of the prosthetists that make prosthetics are not making them in mind for someone who wants to get dressed up and go out for the evening. They're making it for rough tumble dudes who don't really care if it looks pretty or cosmetic. I mean, and that's fine if you like that sort of thing. I wouldn't mind wearing something kind of badass every once in a while, but for the most part, I want to fit in. For myself and amputees like me, I want something that looks like me, but I never have. All the feet I've ever gotten look like this. And I don't know about you, but I've never seen a human with toes like that before. Have you? Certainly not what my toes look like. In my case, due to the way that I was born, I have never seen myself with my own two human legs. Legs that look like they're mine, that match my existing left leg. I never have, ever. But I've always wondered. I've always been a TV and film nerd. It was my comfort when I was in Shriners Hospital for Children, where I grew up. And anytime I watched a movie where there was a fake limb, made by the special effects team on that film, a single question would permeate my mind. They can do that up there. Why can't they do that down here on my leg? And around the time that I was forced to retire because of my health issues regarding my legs, I had become friends with award-winning special effects makeup artist and designer Brian Sipe. And one day it dawned on me that I could actually get an answer to that question that I've been asking myself since I was a little girl. And that answer was yes. It was yes. What you are about to see is the most vulnerable I have ever been with anyone ever in my entire life. I'm about to show you what it actually looks like and what it actually is like to be an amputee, at least to be a 42-year-old woman amputee. I know that I'm going to get comments that are painful and hurtful for me to read. I know that I will be called names and that I will be judged harshly by some. And I wish I could say I'm fully prepared for that. But the fact of the matter is, I never will be. And I don't think anyone ever is to hear things like that. I've heard them my whole life. But because of that, I have hidden myself. But this needs to be done. There are so many misconceptions about people like me, and the prosthetics and insurance game has got to change so that people like me can live more fulfilled lives the way they want to and can afford to. What you're about to see is the birth of the Belle Jambe Project. But before we go any further, please hit that like button. If you're new, please subscribe so you can get more updates on this project, and please ring the bell so you get notified whenever we upload a new one. My name is Dani Soncasie, licensed cosmetologist and registered super nerd. And this is me. Hey guys, so as you can see, I'm not in the studio. I'm actually in Los Angeles at my buddy Brian Sipe's place. And let me check this out. Look at all that makeup. Anywho, so we've got something kind of special for you guys today. As most of you know, I do have a prosthetic. It's kind of fallen apart and it's not very comfortable. And I ran a couple questions by my friend Brian, who, if you are a subscriber of the channel, you've seen him many times. You know what he does. He's a special effects makeup artist. So we have him and a group of his mentees together. And today we will be scanning and casting my legs and my face. And we are starting this kind of journey project together where we are going to create, design, engineer a prosthetic leg for my right side that is going to perfectly match my left. This is a kind of emotional, exciting thing because I've never seen what I would look like with two matching legs. So get ready. This is going to be probably the most personal you've ever seen me get on this channel. So I'll see you guys in a bit. The first thing you should know is that due to the issues with my prosthetic, I overcompensated a lot on my knee seam here.
So if you were
and
going
I had a
to
knee transplant, which did not
straighten
take, and it caused even more damage.
keep that
So
knee safe.
now it looks like Sloth from the
Don't
Goonies.
fucking-
Isn't that nice? It's very painful.
Can you do that?
Very painful.
Do that for a
And it
while?
also has caused a substantial
little while?
amount of back pain as well.
Shake.
Not just back pain, but damage. And yeah, they are currently 3D scanning me exactly as they scanned Mark Hamill for The Mandalorian. That's cool.
Hit space bar.
Rest from it. Girl, out of shape.
Over here.
Yes, this is my homie, Brian Sipe, award-winning special effects makeup artist and designer. You will recognize his work from such things as Mandalorian Seasons 1 and 2 and Book of Boba Fett. Also, X-Men Apocalypse. Several Marvel movies, including Infinity War and Endgame, and Captain Marvel. He's pretty good at scrolls. What can I say?
I'm not sure. I mean, it does. There are things in here where it says like remove the background, remove certain things. So I think it doesn't like to see dark very well. So like if you had that hat on, your hair would not be scanned.
Gotcha.
It's gonna just go away. But this is for all intents and purposes. It's the same iPhone face recognition.
Alright, so we're getting ready to cast my right leg. These are some mentees of Brian. We've got Victoria and Haley and Daniel and Mo and Alex.
I'm ordering lunch.
Yay! Very important. Very important. Right now we're clearing off some space, or they're clearing off some space. To be very specific. Pretty exciting stuff. Dave, when you watch this, this is what eventually the studio is going to look like. Just prepare yourself mentally and emotionally. And first, gotta measure. Make sure everything is completely accurate. What you're seeing is my stump, my residual limb.
You know, like when you do go in to get your do your state final, right?
Yeah.
So you use a product that's not the one that you're demoing, right? Mm-hmm. And so I made a terrible mistake as far as not practicing with the material I was going to be using for the demonstration, and I think it was applying all over color and having to make sure it's real saturated, right? Mm-hmm. And so I didn't have cholesterol, and so I used aloe vera, something I shouldn't have been using, right? And I didn't realize that it wasn't going to
totally
fully
different.
Saturate.
So much alcohol in it. It was just doing the opposite.
Okay. but it's even worse. So I'm doing the application, right? And I get through my aloe, and I'm realizing, okay, this is not saturating like it should be. And I use everything that I had. And I used up all my container.
Yeah.
And, I remember being okay, I'm not going to pass if I don't make sure this is saturated. I'm gonna lose 10 points on this section. Mm-hmm. So when the instructor was looking, I grabbed my hand sanitizer and I totally used hand sanitizer to finish the application. I was please don't drive, please don't drive before they come over. And it was mainly because I was moving right after my state final, and I was I have to pass. I don't have time to take this again. So low key, I was I'm just gonna grab this hand sanitizer.
Yeah, it's a 4 or 5 hour practical exam just standing there on your feet.
Maybe because it needs to dry down.
Okay.
And also because I think it's too thick.
Okay.
So just try.
Let me grab a little towel.
Just because we need to get more of the details and such.
Some over here. Is this far enough where you guys need it?
Yes. Yes, I believe. I believe.
I did pass, but that was my.
Good for you. What'd you get?
I got 75.
Oh, bless your heart.
It wasn't great, but I was you know what?
Great.
All right. So, and what were you asking her? Go.
Oh, sorry. So what did you use to actually mix your silicone, or how did you mix it?
So to make the silicone, the actual end product, there's 2 different parts that activate each other. So we had the A measured out into a cup and then the B measured out into a cup. So I just combined those. Okay. So right now, this is the curing silicone that we're actually going to use.
Gotcha.
Let me see.
It's curing right now, but it takes about 30 minutes. So that's why we
Lovely.
started to do it now. Pretty violet color.
Looks like poi. Nice.
Now, do you have to constantly mix it for half an hour, or can you let it sit and let it?
You can let it sit.
You just have to make sure it's all mixed together.
Yeah.
Just so it's getting around the sides and such.
I don't know why it's really great.
Yeah, why he wants us to hit it with the hair dryers to speed it up.
Okay, gotcha.
Because we did a test where I had one batch on my 2 different batches on either arm, and one we hit with hair dryer and one we didn't. And this one took 30 minutes and this one took 10.
Okay.
So we're just
So the
gonna
heat speeds
meet
it
it in the middle so that we're not waiting.
Okay. And how do you typically know when it's ready to go? Are you looking for a certain consistency?
It'll harden.
Okay.
It'll turn into a rubber that you can just peel off.
Yeah, whereas they tested.
Yeah. Or patches of skin. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Those are on her arm.
And you can actually see
Skin texture.
where, right here, That's actually my tattoo.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Like when they can scar you a little bit when you are getting those tattoos.
Yeah.
And that little circular spot right there is actually my shears that, you know, I can't focus on the camera right now, but yeah, that's cool. Let's see if I can, there we go. That's that right there. The circular scars you see on my stump are from a surgery I had when I was 9 years old that lasted 2 years. They put 8 pins through my leg just below the knee and above the ankle, took out a piece of my tibia and fibula, and stretched my leg 7 inches. When they took the pins out, a lot of muscle tissue came with them, leaving those large divots. And that has been a constant source of pain for me, and no prosthetic I've ever had has compensated for it, and it just continually rips them open.
And actually, you know what? Down. Yep. Don't swirl. Or any follicles that might be there.
It's actually not on my hair.
Yeah, there we go.
No, the camera was caught on my hair.
And you know, we're going to want you to stand up now.
Mm-hmm. So,
bring that over.
Victoria, will you set this on that Sterilite
Absolutely.
there? And that should give us a good view.
Right.
Right. This part is very difficult for me. I know you're going to see just how overweight I've gotten due to the extreme pain I have suffered from my knee and my leg. Please be gentle. I am extremely self-conscious about this, and it's very painful for me. Process. Absolutely. One, nobody knows what you guys do for movies, okay? They don't know how much work this goes into. And 2, nobody knows shit about prosthetics and what I have to deal with, so. Absolutely. This has been a theory I've had since I was a little kid, and I finally just said, hey Brian, let's give it a shot. Why do I get Barbie feet that don't look like me at all?
If you're okay with it, do you want me to film it?
Yes,
Yeah.
please,
Yeah.
thank you.
Of course, that way you get the coverage.
Something that we didn't want to try and do too, I guess.
And feel free to zoom and zoom out. You just use this right here. And for fine tuning to make it focus, you use the front wheel. Perfect.
Can I come right behind you?
No, he's falling off of there.
There are a couple reasons why we chose to go with silicone for this process. 1, Brian is entirely smarter than me and did all of the planning. Full stop. 2, it looks, feels, and moves more like an actual flesh and blood limb. And 3, see how it's going on over my leg? It's liquid. It's going to fill in all of those divots, all of those pockets. It's going to make a perfect mold of my residual limb and my existing limb, meaning all of those divots, those scars, those circular scars I told you about will be filled in. There will be no negative space where a prosthetic is ripping them apart every time I step down. So it's going to compensate for that. And I'm really excited about that concept. I really, really am. And I don't understand why more prosthetists haven't gotten on board with it. And if they have, why are they charging so much from people who need it? I can't tell you how painful it is to sit and look at myself right now. It is incredibly depressing how big I've gotten. I've always been an incredibly active person. I ran track in high school, marching band, raised 4 kids by myself for the most part. I've been a hairstylist for almost 20 years. I ran my own salon most of the time by myself. I ran my own household. This is very painful for me. If you think I don't want to work out, you're sorely mistaken. My knee is very weak. My back has extensive damage. My prosthetic is incredibly painful. I do watch what I eat. I do yoga and Pilates, but nothing is working. I'm now on medications to try and help, but it's not working because I can't move like I used to. It's very upsetting. It's very depressing. And watching this process of them putting silicone on to mold me, it makes me question, why has every single prosthetist I've ever gone to over the last 30-something years always just put a cast on me? They just use plaster cast tape. That's not going to get an appropriate mold. It's just wild to think that this process is not being used more widely. And could not be prouder that I'm doing this video to show more people that this is how it should be done, even though it's difficult. I mean, trust me, I'm struggling to get through this. However, if this had been done for me years prior, it wouldn't be as hard for me to go through this molding process.
Daniel? Yeah. Can you give me one of those strap pieces? The step pieces? What's wet? Yeah, grab. Midline right here. We'll stop it. Okay. We need to put it on that.
Thank you. George Washington pose.
Captain Morgan.
Grabbing lunch.
Oh, is it here? Thank you. So sorry.
Wait for me.
Jordan, keep rolling here right up through center there. Yeah.
Now, I've been an amputee for 30 years. That means that little 5 inches below my knee has been compressed for 30 years. That's all I have to put pressure on to walk. That's not a lot, and it can be very painful. And if you put it in the wrong spot, it can be even more painful, like bone can come shooting through flesh. Not cool. Oh, these girls. These girls were the best. I genuinely had a great time with this group. I mean, really. Okay, now we're going to pull it off. Fun fact, amputees cannot shave body hair where they have to wear a prosthetic limb because it can cause ingrown hairs and infection. So some of my hairs got caught in the silicone and it was sticking and it was painful, and I do not have strength in my knee, so I was no help. So this was a little bit of a struggle getting it off. But then, ta-da! Yay! Woo! We have a mold! Da-da-da-da! There it is. There is the mold of my Stumpy. Here's a dilemma that not a lot of bipedal people have to deal with. Every time I get in the bathtub, it's an issue. I always forget something, and I try not to. Like, every time I get ready for the tub, I make sure I've got my face wash, got my towel, and everything, you know, on this little table thing here that I can reach, so that when I do get in the tub and I take my leg off, you know, I'm good to go. Well, this time I realized I forgot a washcloth. I've got a poofy for my body, but not a cloth for my face. So, and I can't just hop out and walk 6 feet to go get the washcloth. I'd have to sit on the side of the tub, dry my leg completely all the way up to my hip, put my leg on, attach the ratchets, go get the washcloth, come back, detach the ratchets, take the leg back off, and then get back in the tub. Not to mention, bathing is one of the scariest things you can do as an amputee. First of all, showering is virtually out of the question unless you have a shower chair, which for some reason I'm totally against. Don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know. I prefer the bathtub. But it's scary and it's dangerous, because you try standing on one leg, you know, on a slippery, wet surface for any period of time. Yeah. And then you gotta get in and you gotta get out of it. And especially when the only leg you have is not in good shape. It's terrifying. I could get hurt. I could get really hurt, so. Scary stuff. I don't know what you're gonna ask. Like, no, I cannot wear my current leg in the shower or the tub. When I was very young, I used to wear my first legs when I went swimming and stuff, and it corroded the internal mechanisms and my foot would break off. Like, I've broken off several feet. One time at work, and a manager told me, a manager told an assistant manager to go get Ace Wrap and Ace Wrap it back together and send me back out to cut hair. She wasn't a big fan of physics, apparently. Anyway, I can't wear it. And then how am I going to get my stump clean? Like, really, let's think about that. But if I had that entirely silicone leg, I could wear that in a shower. I mean, if water got between the silicone and the skin, it would come apart, you know, pull away, it wouldn't be attached anymore. I don't know. But it wouldn't cause it damage to get it wet. So that would be a thing. it would be easier to get in and out of the tub. That would be for sure. That'd be for sure. But no, I don't bathe with my leg on. That's one of the dumb questions I get. I get a lot of really stupid questions, like really inappropriate questions, and mostly from people that I don't even know, like barely even know. Like, do you bathe with it on? No, stupid. Do you bathe with your shoes on? You wash your feet, right? Do you sleep with it on? No. Do you sleep with your shoes on? No. And the worst is, do you have sex with it on? Well, the easy answer to that one is, it's none of your business. None of your business. Okay, I'm gonna go finish my bath now. Okay, I'm gonna try and show you how I put my leg on now that I've gotten out of the tub and dried my leg off completely. Yeah, sunburn. We are still renovating my house eternally. That's what happens when you buy a house. You just work on it forever. But the bathroom is one of the rooms where we haven't gotten to really do anything in it yet. So the floor still looks hideous. So just, there's that. Okay, so now that I have dried my leg off, let's put the leg on. Okay, so first we have the liner, and mine has, I'll show you better, it has two parts. This is a gel pad because the bottom of my stump is very sensitive because it's just mush now. So, and then this is the silicone liner. You see it's really ready, it's falling apart, but it's supposed to be a cool temp liner. It's supposed to keep it cooler, but it doesn't. Because as an amputee, like, see, look, there's a hair. That's very dangerous. Very dangerous, believe it or not. If that were to be missed and I put my leg on with that, it could get embedded in my skin and give me a nasty infection. Okay, so I have to put this on a specific way. You see these indentions right here, these lines? That has to go on the front. So put it on like this, leg fart, and then roll it on. Okay, all the way up. You see this pin right here? Now I've got to put it in there. Make sure it clicks all the way. And then I have to click these ratchets on both sides. And that's kind of a pain in the ass. Half the time they don't want to work. See? It's so... I don't know, right? Okay, so now I'm going to try and prop it up. And... oh, see, if I don't get these tightened... oh my god. If I don't get these tightened down, then it doesn't put the pressure on the back of my stump here. When I walk, it puts it on the bottom, and that means I just can't walk. So this was supposed to be a really good thing, and I understand what they were trying to do with it. It gives you, oh my god, it's so frustrating. Like, it really, really, really makes me mad. This one's easier. But if I don't get this tightened correctly, I can't walk on it. And I understand what they were trying to do, but it's too much. It's too much work. But imagine waking up in the middle of the night and having to pee so bad that you're about to wet yourself, and you have to go through all of that, and it's dark, and you can't see, and you put the liner on wrong, and you can't get the ratchets to tighten down. Yeah. Not fun. Not fun. And then it just hurts anyway. Yay! One of the biggest issues I have these days of being an amputee, with my knee getting worse and, the issues with the prosthetic getting worse in my back is the ability to take care of my own house. If it's something that takes more than a couple of minutes, chances are I can't do it. I have good days and I have bad days, but there are more bad days than good days. And then you worry that, one, you did too good of a job of making yourself look indestructible to your family and your kids, so they can't really tell that you're really, really suffering. And then two, you have people that think you're just being lazy and they accuse you of being a mooch, and you already have voices in your head telling you that. You already have voices in your head tearing you apart. You're sitting so much and it's boring and it's maddening and you're angry. Meanwhile, you're just sitting. It's the worst part. Watching the person you were slip away and these little voices in your head just ripping you apart.
I'll try my best.
Pretty sure it started recording right when you said that.
Nice. Don't raw dog the phone.
Don't raw dog the
That is
phone.
the title of this.
It'll
episode.
hurt you. Don't raw dog.
You can only do that with silicone and latex.
Yeah.
Four spacers.
That's what you're asking about. Someone a cigarette?
Yeah. I'm gonna watch you guys do this.
Don't mess up.
Don't fuck it up.
I'm confident.
We're getting the bottom of your foot this time too. So you can go down that box for sure.
This is really just for this one. The purpose of the cotton between the toes. I know you're going to ask. Well, remember the feet that I showed you before. They were all connected. It's all connected. They're Barbie feet. And the purpose for molding the left is so that Brian can mirror the left one so that the prosthetic for my right leg will match perfectly. And that means separated toes. Toes don't connect unless you're born with a condition.
I know this looks like I'm not doing
I want
anything. But actually holding my ankle this still and holding my leg this up with pounds of silicone on it, I promise I'm doing a lot of complaining.
The plaster on there, it gets really heavy.
Yeah. So this is our second layer of the silicone.
Cut it. You do the bottom foot, and then, the back of the leg. Front of the leg to the foot. This is one simple thing.
Okay.
They're ready. Make sure that you're creating the line close to both sides.
So wait. So like, would it make sense for like back of the leg, under the foot, and then?
I mean, actually, the way you kind of got it there, you could probably go right, left.
Right, left.
Oh, like side by side. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. So
Go.
after.
Got one ready to go.
Ready.
It's yours. So should I start it from underneath and pull it up?
I would start on top because then as you go down, like the next one will hang on to the last one.
Okay.
If you start underneath, grab it and just like go.
And like for the edge, you probably fold it over so it's like a thicker edge.
Look at you. It's so pretty.
Is that in the middle, or do you need me to bring it further?
Yeah, right there is good. And then leave like that much, yeah, at the top. Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, no, I didn't know either.
And for the top edge too, like going vertical, should we flip it like to make it a thicker edge, or is that
See where there's usually going to be
edge?
I would sort of double it over and have it real just because that's going to affect the product from.
Yeah. Okay. So on this edge to do double.
This may sound like a silly non-issue to a lot of you, but it's a big deal to a lot of amputees, and that issue is shoes. Mostly because most of the feet that prosthetists gave to us are like the ones I've already shown you. All the toes are connected, like Barbie feet. You can't wear flip-flops or most sandals with that, and we can't wear slip-ons, slides, anything like that anyway because we don't have toes and toes grip. And there's the issue with high heels for women. You know, high heels come in different heel heights, which means you have to have different heel heights and different feet, and you have to have the tools to switch them out. And those are very expensive and difficult to operate. It's very depressing when you can't dress like other people and you just want to be normal. You just want to be a woman.
So guys, I messed up. My leg was getting real uncomfortable and I tried to like switch positions and I pretty much knocked, well I did, I knocked the cast off.
Yes.
This is getting really heavy.
It really is. My quad is on fire. Okay, as the caption's gonna say, yes, I am holding my ankle, my foot, my toes, my knee, my hip, all in a very specific position. And it is difficult because there are several pounds of silicone and plaster. And thankfully, once things started to cure, Alex was able to help me hold that up. And once we perfect the process, I'm sure we'll find better ways to do this. But the reason why I have to hold that in that specific position, why I had to have my stump in a downward facing position while we were applying this stuff and while it was curing, is so that we don't get anything misshapen, that we can get a true shape of what my legs look like in their natural state. Anytime a quote-unquote prosthetist would approach the question I would pose, like, can we make it look more like my actual leg? They would have me lay down on a piece of paper with my calf resting flat on the floor. So that was spreading my calf out, right? And then they would just draw an outline. And then they would cover my stump in plaster cast tape. And then, of course, you would get a distorted image of what my leg looks like. So knowing all of that, and Brian, whose job it is to bring realism to the big screen, we knew that this is how this was going to have to be done. And even though it was a lengthy and somewhat difficult process, the results are going to be phenomenal. Nope. I'm only 42 years old and I was forced to retire from a career I absolutely loved because of the pain and weakness in my knee, my stump, and my back. I still have a 14-year-old daughter at home and she's watching me live my life from a chair.
There's not a lot of it, so it's like the last couple.
And that's been the most depressing thing, is not being able to participate with my family, not being able to go grocery shopping with them, not being able to take her to the mall or walk around the park with her. It's devastating. I don't want to sit around and do nothing. I don't want to sit around and just work on my computer all the time. I want to live my life.
Can you try to wiggle your toes?
Brian, can you assist us with the removal, please?
Right and left. Definitely look at right there. So, screwdriver. This is gonna have to be a little. And move your leg up like that. Is that alright?
Over there. There's a drawer.
You needed a what?
Screwdriver. Flat screwdriver. Standard. Would have. Good. Now the fun part. I'm not sure you want to hold the camera.
You wanna?
You want to get in there and release the skin yourself, or how do you want to? You would actually move around.
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. It's way easier than this stuff. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Ready?
Yep.
Barbie. Great. Feel pretty loose everywhere, yeah?
Except for the toes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my leg is so tired. There we go. Loose. Oh. Get this stuck right. Yeah.
Sticky pair of scissors.
Ooh, that feels weird. There we go. So this was entirely all my fault because my leg got so tired and I adjusted myself and that first cast came off. It wasn't adhering to the silicone, so. But I want you to take a look at my prosthetic, everything I'm wearing there. So you see the titanium bar down by the ankle, you see the black and gray fiberglass, and you see I've got like this knee brace cover, and then you see the fabric above that. I'm wearing the knee brace cover because there are these ratchet straps, these hard plastic ratchet straps that stick straight out and will stab things and get caught on things. So I have to wear that knee brace cover, and then above that fabric you see that goes up to my mid-thigh, that is a silicone liner that is literally fraying and falling apart. Very hot, very annoying, and still doesn't fill in those scars I have, and that's what rips apart my scars and causes me so much pain. That's the thing that we're really focusing on is that silicone liner. I wasn't afraid to stab me.
Just the whole aesthetic is just, it's not human leg-like. And where I know that works for some people, I'm sure some people do like that. But for people like me, and even small children who don't want attention drawn to them, it's just not working. It really isn't. I mean, when all you want in the world is for someone not to stare at you with that quizzical, weird look on their face, having something like that on your body is just, does the opposite.
Was that my camera?
No, it was the water bottle.
Woo! Oh, that's right. Oh my god. Here.
You ready?
Yeah. Here it goes. Ooh, be free. No idea, I had such slender ankles.
Yes.
Okay. Floop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go and put that back together there. Yeah. It's good. Let's grab those two jackets. Actually, Nadia, see that giant thing that looks like a giant saran wrap? Right next to it, there are the smaller handle ones. Grab one of those. Yep.
And now they're going to put this back together, wrap it in saran wrap. I'm going to go inside and rest, and they are going to fill both of the molds with plaster and make positives of both my stump and my left leg. Super cool, huh? I thought so. And here you have the positive mold of my stump, and you can see that nasty scar right there. That one's the absolute worst. That causes me most of the pain. That's the bottom of my stump that can't handle any pressure. Look at that. Every single prosthetist has missed that because they didn't make a mold of me. And of course, the left leg. The leg that will be used to make a mirror version of it for my right prosthetic.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video. You have no idea how much that means to me. Because it was a lot, wasn't it? Of course, I want to thank Brian Sipe and all the mentees for all the hard work they have done. I mean, they are the ones who have done all the actual hard work on this. But we're at a point now where we need some help, hopefully from one of you. If you would like to participate in the Belle Jambe Project, if you would like to help by donating or investing, please email me at the address below. Our goal is to finish this leg, document it, and show the world that it is possible, and not for the prices that your insurance company has been charged. You can also help by supporting the channel. Just scan the QR code on the screen and you can tip the channel however little or as much as you like. You can also join our Patreon. There are 3 different tiers, and each tier comes with its own merch that you receive every 3 months. You also get sneak peeks, behind the scenes, outtakes, tutorials, and so much more. And you can also buy merch from our merch store found here. You can get cool shirts like the one I'm wearing, coffee cups, mugs, pillows, you name it. We have just about everything. And you can also like, subscribe, and share this video. Show everyone, spread it around. That way we can reach as many people as we possibly can, thanks to you. Whatever support you can provide, we are more than grateful to accept and appreciate. Thank you. Thank you again for sticking around. I hope you have a wonderful day, and remember, stay nerdy, babies. Bye.